Few days after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu celebrated the leadership crisis within major opposition parties in Nigeria, his own political party, the APC, is in a latest crisis. What happens? Is Tinubu going to take another presidential running mate in 2027 election? What happens? We seek to find out in the next few minutes. Hello there, and thank you for joining us on another edition of The Context. I'm Ibrahim Ismail. On the show today, we shall be analyzing the current situation within the APC after a controversial stakeholders meeting held in Gombe State, Northeast Nigeria, being the Northeast Stakeholders Meeting. This comes amidst concern over endorsement of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for second term without Vice President Kashim Shettima's name being mentioned by major leaders, including the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Ganduje. Abdullahi Ganduje is the acting national chairman of the APC, and he is one of the most influential political leaders in northern Nigeria. But then he endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at a recent meeting of APC stakeholders in northeast Nigeria, which was held in Gombe. But it was disrupted. The meeting was disrupted by a lot of people who show their own concern over non-endorsement of Vice President Kashim Shettima alongside President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Is there leadership crisis between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima? Is there a conflict of interest? Well, we shall be analyzing all of this. Vice President Kashim Shettima is one of the powerful politicians in northern Nigeria, especially in the northeast. He served 2 terms as governor of Borno State before his tenure elapses, and after leaving office he also served as senator who represented his own constituents at the National Assembly, Senate to be precise, before being given the ticket to run alongside President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in one of the most controversial and historic movement, Muslim ticket in Nigerian election, which has been criticized by a lot of people over marginalization of Christians across the country. That aside, Kashim Shettima has been working with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu during the campaigns, and he has been across nooks and crannies of this country trying to get votes for the president, especially to win the support from the northern part of the country where Kashim comes from. But then there are concerns recently after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was endorsed by a lot of stakeholders of the APC, including the National Executive Council of the APC. During a recent meeting in Abuja, they endorsed the president. But then after that, a lot of concerns have been put forward by people who are very loyal and supportive to Kashim Shettima. And this is the biggest concern that is threatening the peace and unity of the APC ahead of the 2027 presidential election. Is Tinubu going to take another presidential running mate in 2027 election? Is he going to substitute Kashim Shettima with another vice president in the 2027 presidential election? Well, there are a lot of issues regarding this. To understand the relationship between Kashim Shettima and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I have discussed with an insider from the villa who has now resigned from President Tinubu's government. I'm talking about Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, who has worked with the Vice President and also President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the villa. And here is what he said regarding the relationship between Kashim Shettima and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
I haven't seen any sidelining. I think I have seen the president and the vice president work well. I've had an excellent relationship with Vice President Kashim Shettima. It was wrongly reported by someone who that I didn't see him much. I saw him virtually every day. I saw a very loyal, very supportive vice president, someone who worked very, very hard to make the president look good. And I was impressed by his intellect, by his commitment, by his dedication. I understand the frustrations of being a number two, but I didn't see evidence that.
Anyway, although Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed said there is robust working relationship between Tinubu and Kashim Shettima, but there were a lot of issues that came up from supporters of Kashim Shettima and also those that are within Tinubu's camp. They have been busy debating whether Kashim Shettima has been given the right power that is given to him constitutionally, vested on him by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as vice president, whether he has not been sidelined. A lot of people think that even the minister of the FCT, Wike, is more powerful in Tinubu's government than Kashim Shettima. But then the presidency has repeatedly denied that there is any rift between the two leaders. But this issue remains a point of concern. Okay, let's break it down, the consequences of this crisis to the APC government led by President Tinubu, and also the effect of this latest crisis that broke out during a recent APC meeting in the Northeast will affect Tinubu's chances in the 2027 election. Here are some of the hypotheses. Number one, division will heighten within the party regarding the leadership of Abdullahi Ganduje, the acting national chairman. A lot of people will lose confidence in his leadership abilities from the Northeast region, especially those that are protesting over omission of Kashim Shettima's name. And the implication is that some of these people, if eventually Kashim Shettima was not given the ticket to run with Tinubu as running mate in 2027, they may switch their allegiance and follow the coalition movement led by Atiku Abubakar, who is also from the Northeast. Another thing is that the APC itself as a party is not going to end well with this crisis because they have limited options. Are they also considering having some changes within the leadership of the party before the 2027 election? And then are they also trying to say that they will take another running mate for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Well, if this eventually happens, there are a lot of dramas that Nigerians will witness in the 2027 election. Well, it shows that the party is at the verge of having multiple crises, just like the PDP and other opposition parties in the country. And then it means that Tinubu and the APC national chairman Abdullahi Ganduje and the rest of the party leadership need to come together to analyze the implications of their action endorsing Tinubu without Kashim Shettima. And it is also in the interest of understanding that they deliberate all these issues and come up with a solution that will help to unite the party. But failure for the APC to do this will fuel more crisis ahead of the 2027 election, and it has the potential of affecting their re-election bid, especially in northern Nigeria. Well, that's all we have today on this episode of The Context. Join the conversation below. Tell us what you feel regarding the crisis that erupted during a recent stakeholders meeting of the APC in northeast Nigeria. Thanks for watching The Context. See you in the next episode.